So any thoughts on like Tariq Cohen and him getting added to the Jets roster? Does he bump out Izzy? Does anything happen with that move, or is it just purely a camp body? We know the special teams rules have changed. He was, a really good special teams player back 2020 or 2021 before he sustained that ACL injury. Been out of football a long time. Obviously, after the ACL, had an Achilles injury right after that. Lost both his brothers in that stretch of time as well. Tigo, as far as running back 4 is concerned, do you think Izzy's job is kind of safe for running back 4? Do you think there's a possibility we carry 3 running backs? We did carry 4 last year. And what do you think Tariq Cohen's role is on this team?
These are the conversations that I think we're going to have the most fun with this summer, because it's Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen is being brought in as a camp body that they hope pans out into something, right? Because we know how good he can be, right? He is is it Pro Bowl or All Pro? I think he's an All Pro special teamer, because I think he made the All Pro return man in his sophomore year in the NFL. And so, but again, you're just taking a flyer on a guy. Like, let's not act like he wasn't just cut by Carolina, right? Carolina is letting fans try out to make their NFL roster. Like, they're
like
not in a good spot. So and I'm not trying to like crap on them. If it works out, it is one of the best stories. Like, this is one of those things that we're going to look back on a couple of years like away and be like, you remember when we gave Tariq Cohen his shot in the first of the back-to-back Super Bowls, and he like earned the job, and he came, and it was like, oh my God, he spent 3 years out of football, and he came back, and he helped lead the team, and was an all-pro special teamer. And remember the punt return kick in the AFC Championship game? Like, that'll be a great story, but that's what we're hoping, is that it's a great story, and that's it.
Matt, your thoughts on Cohen?
It is a really good story. I think he has a chance to make it on special teams. I will say, and obviously, again, this is subject to change of what happens over the next month or so. Cohen has gotten more reps with the 1s and 2s than Izzy. Izzy, according to people who've been there, has not gotten really any run with the 1 or the 2s. So that, I think you have to take into account, at least right now, with where they are on the pecking order. I don't think it's unfair to say that Cohen might be ahead of 𝐒𝐮𝐫𝐞𝐵𝐞. And again, that can change in August. We see guys move up and down the depth chart as training camp goes on. But right now, if they were making the 53-man roster today, I think Izzy's on the bubble, and it might be a tough spot for him to make it, which sounds crazy because he was just drafted last year. But I don't know if he's making this team.
So I want to get to Blitzcrew's comment in just a second, but I wanted to pull up Zachary's comment right here. Did they talk about our 2 rookie running backs showing out in camp? We have not. Braylon Allen has been an absolute stud, though. I am very excited for this running back. Another similar situation, I feel like, to Breece Hall, where he did not get a lot of receiving targets in college. Believe it or not, Nathaniel Hackett is the best offensive coordinator that has utilized Breece Hall in terms of a receiving game, which is absolutely bananas to consider. But Breece did not get a lot of receptions in college, and neither did Braylon Allen. Now we're seeing him catch out of the backfield. He's definitely going to be a powerhouse in terms of running the ball up the middle as well. A little bit of finesse to his game. I like his stiff arm. I very much am looking forward to him filling in the gap on our running back squad that should have been filled by Dalvin Cook. And then from Isaiah Davis's perspective, this guy just wants to hit people. His comment to Dom C at the Senior Bowl was, I love finding the blitzing linebacker and knocking him on his ass. Like, that is exactly the type of player we want lined up alongside Aaron Rodgers. Now, he did get pulled off the field earlier today because he lined up in the wrong formation and Aaron Rodgers sent him off the field. So I guarantee he's probably not going to make that mistake a second time. But Matt, I want to hear your thoughts first. Then we'll go to Tigo on our 2 young running backs, Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis.
Yeah, so those are also 2 guys who I think have already jumped Izzy on the depth chart. But I think Braylon Allen, the biggest surprise for me so far has been his ability as a pass catcher, because like it's not like they tried it at Wisconsin and he just wasn't good at it. it was not a part of his game. Like, they really did not do that whatsoever. So him adding that element, I think, makes him a more versatile back. And to me, he is the leader by far at RB2 at the moment. Isaiah Davis, I think, is going to end up passing, Tariq Cohen and 𝐒𝐮𝐫𝐞𝐿 on the roster and end up being that third back. But I think it's going to be Breece, big gap, Braylon Allen RB2, and then a really big gap in everyone else kind of the field after that.
Mhm.
But for me, I think Allen's going to be a piece that they use relatively regularly as an RB2 in this offense. Anytime Breece Hall, it needs a rest on a drive, it's going to be Braylon Allen coming in. I don't think we see a ton of RB3 and 4.
Tigo, what about you? What do you think about our 2 young running backs?
Yeah, no, I love the grit that we're adding to this offense, right? Just big, mean mofos that just like old school football. They just like violence. Period. That's it. They just like the violent part of the game. And Isaiah Davis is like a perfect example of that. It's just like he's looking for the contact. Like the same thing with Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen isn't trying to make a guy miss. Braylon Allen is trying to remind that guy 3 days from now, damn, I tried to tackle him and that was not a good idea. Like, felt that one. I'm still sore. And like, we got a game in 3 days. Like, I can't be thinking about the Jets. Like, that's how they play. And so I love that. And I will just defend the OCs just a little bit. That, like, with Braylon Allen and with Breece Hall. Because, like, a lot of people are like, how did you not know that Breece could catch? And I don't think that was the issue. I think the issue wasn't that he couldn't catch. I think the issue is that neither one of them are all that great at route running. So it's hard to give them more than just like, hey, just run to the flat. It's hard to give them like a Texas route and to do those things. Like, there is a reason that Christian McCaffrey just got his deal. It's because he's a good route runner on top of all of the things that he does as a running back. And I think that's where Breece and Braylon need to develop their game, because I think they have the hands. I think we saw that from Breece last year. He has the hands to catch effectively. It's just, can he run routes effectively? And that's what I've been talking about this entire offseason. That's the only thing I wanted Breece Hall working on this offseason is, dude, work on your route running. Because if we can put you out wide, like if we can motion you out wide and like line you up as a receiver and have you legitimately run an NFL wide, like an NFL route, best running back in the NFL. Like he'd chase Christian McCaffrey and he'd catch him really, really quick if he adds that to his game, because I think he's just so damn good as a running back. If he can add like legit route running to his level, the ceiling is unimaginable with Breece Hall.
Real briefly on that Christian McCaffrey contract, 2 years, $19 million a year. I love that deal because that is basically a cheaper wide receiver that is also a filthy running back. So like, as much as that's a lot of money to pay a quote unquote running back, for an offensive weapon, I think it's a home run considering the production they've gotten out of him all day. Tigo, any last words before we eject you for Jeremy?
No, I'm going to go take an ice bath now.
There you go.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.